Am I alive yet?
Are we alive? I don't know. Hit yourself in the head and see what happens. May work, maybe. Who knows? Welcome in, everybody. How's your day going? How's your night going? Morning. I don't know, lunch, whenever you're watching this. Whatever it may be. So last night, or Sunday night, I should say, again, depending on when you're watching this, we had the creme de la creme. See what I did there? With the Super Bowl being in New Orleans. We had the Super Bowl. I, for one, could have cared less either way it went. I'm not a Bucks fan, or excuse me, I'm not a Chiefs fan. I'm not a Eagles fan. I'm a Tampa Bay Bucks fan. So I know there was a lot of people that jumped on that anti-Chiefs fan. I honestly could care less, L-E-S-S, yes, less. And if you were anything but a Chiefs fan, then you got your ultimate wish last night, because Sunday night, because the damn Chiefs got the damn doors blown off their vehicle. I mean, it's like they showed up thinking it was all theirs, and they just got bombarded. And that's the game. I mean, that's just how that goes. And a lot of people say they might not be surprised by it. Through the year, I mean, the Chiefs did not look like a good team. I remember somebody saying they're like the best, worst team that they've seen in the league. Of course, you had a lot of people saying that officials and even the NFL helped them in games, and there were a lot of suspicious and interesting calls during the season that went their way that probably shouldn't have. But I mean, you got the game, and I mean, honestly, 40-22, it wasn't even that. Two of these touchdowns at the end were just garbage time. You can take 14 points off the board because those were just garbage time touchdowns. But I mean, the Eagles, I honestly, that first quarter was slow, which you can expect after 2 weeks off. Teams are going to come out, try to feel each other out. It's almost like boxers in the first couple rounds. They try to feel each other out. But then, I mean, the Eagles just were hitting on all cylinders. And the Chiefs and their sorry defense finally caught up with them. And that offensive line finally showed that they could not play with the Eagles. I mean, that's just how it went. Again, I, for one, I could care less either way. I mean, my Bucks beat the Eagles in the NFC Championship in, I think it was 2002. Stopped them from going to the Super Bowl. So suck on that, Eagles fans. So I didn't care who won either way. If the Chiefs won again, they won again. It was whatever. It wasn't going to bother me. But the Chiefs lost. The Eagles saved the country and maybe even the world from having the Chiefs three-peat. So it is what it is. The Chiefs look wholly unprepared. I mean, they'll have a lot of questions going into the offseason. You know, they'll need to find another receiver. They'll need to find some sort of run game. Their offensive line is suspect. Their defense at times are suspect. They have to wonder if Taylor Swift is now going to break up with Kelsey. Because I mean, he did lose the game, so she can write a song now about that. But it is what it is. I mean, would the Bills have been a better game? Sure, but I mean, they just got smoked. Jalen Hurts actually looked pretty good in that game, considering where he had been previous years. So you can do what you can do with that. Overall, people are still, not big fans of the commercials, which whatever. I mean, the commercials haven't been great for probably 15 years. You might have one or two that just pop out of nowhere and are good. You know, in the last 10 years, they throw them online on YouTube, you know, the nights before the Super Bowl. So you've already seen them anyways if you go and find them out on social media. The halftime show, again, like I didn't really watch. I was flipping back and forth, kind of just keeping up. I didn't watch the halftime show. I mean, I didn't care. I honestly, I can't tell you the last time I watched a halftime show for the Super Bowl. I think I watched that one in L.A. that Dr. Dre did, just because a lot of those guys were guys I had grown up with. So I watched that one to see how it would go. Kendrick Lamar, I mean, for what he is, he's probably, you know, a great rapper. I've heard a few of his songs from 10 years ago or so, and yeah, he can handle it, but that's just not my scene. I grew up in the 90s, so I grew up with 90s rappers. You know, that's where my forte is. That's the kind of rap music I enjoy listening to is late 80s, 90s, and maybe early 2000s, just depending. I saw, you know, some people saying it was the worst halftime show ever. Others saying it was great. You're always going to get that. I mean, you're never going to have just a solid, this is a great halftime show, especially with social media. I mean, you're always going to have somebody that hates it, and you're always going to have somebody that loves it. So, I mean, it's up to you whether you liked it or not. And honestly, you shouldn't care if other people didn't like it or not. If you enjoyed the music, you enjoyed the halftime show, that's all you need to worry. If you had fun, I mean, that's shit all that matters. I mean, so yeah, I heard that Samuel Jackson was dressed up like Uncle Sam. That he took a poke at Drake or whatever. Now, I did see this one thing, and I got to pull this up real quick. I don't know how many of you guys know Jameis Winston. But he's a Heisman winner at Florida State. Won the championship 2013. Has been in the pros. You know, he's I mean, funny guy. You know, but just quarterback wise is just a backup at the moment. But so they had him all week as a correspondent, just doing the craziest stuff for Fox. Like here, they had him riding a rickshaw. You know, just
bike.
Debbie.
I believe I can bike. I believe I can bike.
I mean, he's out there just singing, you know, random stuff. Here he is. He went to a bar and acting like a pirate. And this was the other one. Like, my man's just enjoying life. I mean, and I think that's why people enjoy him so much. I mean, yeah, he did some questionable things when he was at Florida State. One, I guess you could say he was exonerated from it. That might be the wrong word, but he was found not to be, I guess, the one that should be charged. He then had that thing where he stood up and yelled that obscenity in the student union, which is pretty stupid considering, but, you know, I got him suspended. But ever since then, he's just been a regular dude. He hasn't had any off-field problems. He's married, kids. He just enjoys life. I mean, he's just...
Oh my God, look at the powder that's coming off that thing. Oh my Lord.
He's sitting there eating a W, of course, because remember when he was on Tampa Bay, he did that whole eat a W nonsense that just made everybody laugh. But I guess last night they had him and Bert Kreischer, who also graduated from Florida State, had them together in the stands, and this is some of the madness.
Terrifying.
It is, man. I think special teams in general is very terrifying. Especially, can you imagine looking at the moon and you have 11 ostriches running at you full speed and you have a piece of corn on the bottom of your cheek.
I can't imagine that. I mean, I can't imagine it. I can't imagine.
But listen, you're looking at the moon. You got some corn on your chin and 11 ostriches. Do ostriches eat corn? I don't know.
Yeah. And they also disembowel you with their claws. They cut you open from the center like dinosaurs.
What?
Yeah, they did it to Johnny Cash.
Johnny Cash?
He got almost died by an ostrich. I think. You may want to Google that, yeah.
Just, I mean, he's out there just living the dream. So it's one of those, if he doesn't make it, it was with Flavor Flav. If you don't, if he doesn't make it as a QB in the league, he can do something on TV. He's shown this week that he's crazy and he can have some fun, you know, just being himself. He got Kevin Costner that
Your
walks
name.
in.
So let's compete in rock, paper, scissors. Let's do it. Here we go. Excuse me, Kevin. It's all good, Kevin. Here we go. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Man, please.
So, you know, it's one of those. And here he was, you know, he was throwing W's out to players as the week, you know, at the beginning of the week. I think that was media nights Monday. So, I mean, he might not make it in the league as a starter anymore. I mean, my man just loves to sling the court. I mean, he's like Brett Favre, except Brett Favre, you know, at some point kind of reeled that in. But my man here just loves to throw the ball deep. He loves to just toss it as far as he can. So if he doesn't make it in the league anymore, he definitely can do something as far as television or his content like this goes, because he is an entity in himself, and so he had some fun during the week. So if you hadn't seen any of his highlights, definitely look him up and just watch what he did, because he was having a blast this whole week. But yep, so Super Bowl was a bit of a bust, but hey, sometimes that happens. Everyone's happy that the Eagles won, so that's what it is. The other thing, of course, are the trailers, and the only trailer that I actually paid attention to or actually watched was the Thunderbolts here. Now, for those that don't know, Thunderbolts is kind of like a Suicide Squad for Marvel. They're like the offshoots, the bad guys or anti-heroes that are needed to help save the world for whatever reason. I don't know. I mean, I know about the different characters from the different movies that are put in here, but I don't know anything about this particular team or this particular storyline. But if you haven't seen it, we can just watch it real quick, and I will stop a lot in it. Sorry if you hate that, but that's just the way it is.
Let's talk facts. The Avengers are not coming.
And if you're wondering, yes, that's Julie Louis-Dreyfus from Seinfeld.
Who will keep the...
Okay, so this, I didn't quite know who this was at first, but they're saying this is Sentry, who apparently just turns people to shadows here. He's like Marvel's version of Superman, I guess, or anti-Superman. Like, he has all of Superman's powers and maybe a little bit more, and he's just an obnoxious a-hole. Like, I think he's another anti-hero where he's good sometimes, but mostly villainous, just depending on the situation. Now, this could be a red herring, and this could be somebody else. You know how Marvel is. They love to do that. A little check out this hand, but then there's something else going on this other hand. But I don't know. From what everyone's saying, that's supposed to be Sentry, and I know really nothing about him.
Keep the American people safe.
There's some big threat out there, and you are gonna help me stop it.
Wait, us?
Yeah, you. Why, you got someplace to be?
I love that guy.
So none of us comply? So what, do we all just punch and shoot?
I can't think of a worse group of people trying to work together.
Everyone here has done
Now,
that thing.
if you didn't know who that one guy was with the beard that was getting shot at just then, that's Walker. He was he replaced Captain America in the Falcon and Winter Soldier. He took, he ends up taking a serum and ends up basically bringing out all the evil in him. He's like the anti Captain America. So John Walker, I think is what his name is. I could be wrong on that, but if you don't recognize him, that's who he is.
Everyone here has done bad things. You can't escape the past.
And of course, you have Ghost and Taskmaster in here. Ghost is from Ant-Man, and Taskmaster is from the Scarlett Johansson Black Widow movie.
It's like your mind is somewhere else.
So you can do something about it now, or live with it forever.
This could get messy.
No shit. You thought you were gonna be some great saviors? I can't even.
And again, this is supposedly Sentry, which again, so there's this actor that was in Top Gun Maverick. He played Bob, the guy with glasses. That's who supposedly Sentry is. And in the first teaser trailer, you see him a little bit. I think his name is also Bob in this movie. But they're playing it up as if this is Sentry, which it probably could be. But don't be surprised if Marvel swerves us and this isn't actually Sentry, and it's going to be somebody that Sentry faces off against. I don't know. But we'll find out.
You save yourselves.
We can't do this. No one here is a hero.
Lena, when I look at you, I don't see your mistakes. That's why we need each other.
Now I'll say this. I saw some dude review this or watch this trailer. I, for one, I've seen it already, so I'm not going to act like I haven't seen it before. I thought it was a decent trailer, especially for not knowing what these characters are or what they're about. I thought it was a fun trailer. I mean, it looks like a fun movie, but I saw this guy that was just crapping on the entire thing and even got more upset because they were playing Jefferson Starship. That song that plays in it, just completely upset about them playing Jefferson Starship. And it's like, Jesus, dude. It's like... You'll be all right, man. You'll be all right.
Okay, that was really good.
We are the Thunderbolts!
Can't call ourselves that.
God, thank you.
I don't know if you saw in that particular scene right there, but dude's shield is bent. So obviously he doesn't have Cap's shield. He has, I don't know, just a replica, and it got the schneik spin out of it.
Thank you.
This has
That
makings
is
of
the old Avengers Tower.
makings of team that can rise to glory.
I'm pretty sure that Jefferson Starship song was like in the soundtrack to Mannequin from the 80s. I believe that's that one.
Bring light from the darkness.
The other thing I noticed about this trailer was you only saw Taskmaster in action in the first little bit of it, and then you didn't see that character at all like later in the scenes where they're all grouped together. And that means two things. Either one, they just weren't in those particular scenes and they were off doing something else at the time, or they might be killed off pretty quickly in this movie as a reason for the team to come together, which I could see because Taskmaster, besides maybe going up against Deadpool, I just don't know what else you would use that character in for in any of these movies. Plus, there's supposed to be a man, and they made it a woman. So maybe they just decided to off that character in this movie. We'll find out.
This team can be the heroes on the Wheaties box. Be the heroes.
Oh, that's Ghost. Okay, that just looked so weird for a minute there. It almost looked like something was trying to prop something up, but that's Ghost. Okay, got it.
The heroes on the Wheaties box. With a little giddy toy.
Jesse, have you slept?
I'll sleep when I'm dead.
I'd like not to die today, so maybe somebody else should be driving.
Again, to me, I mean, that movie looks pretty decent. I know nothing about those characters. It kind of gives me like a Guardians vibe, as far as I didn't know anything about the Guardians characters going into that. That movie was great. I think you go into that movie not expecting, anything too crazy. It's just a story that's offshot. They're going to introduce new characters for future movies, I take it. Who knows? Hell, they might even kill Sentry off in this movie. I mean, Marvel's pretty good about having a villain in the movie one time and then killing him off. But I don't really have a problem with that either, because, I mean, realistically, even though Marvel has been making movies for almost 20 years now, at some point it runs out. I mean, you can't just not kill bad guys because you're thinking, oh, we can have them in a future movie. I mean, at some point people are going to stop going to these movies. I mean, this time period is almost like in the 40s and 50s when you had Westerns take over. Like, you had war movies and Westerns that were like the genre of that time. And after a while, I mean, people get tired of the genre and they move on. And you might be getting that with these comic movies in the next couple years. I mean, in the past few years, they've kind of been like that. So all these people that get upset about them killing villains off, I honestly don't care, because, again, I mean, this isn't going to go on for another 20. Well, Disney might try to push it for another 20 years, to be honest. But why keep them around if you're not going to use them? Why have that lingering there? Just kill them off and have them as a one set for a movie. I mean, but hey, okay, yeah. So they're saying that this is supposedly Sentry, which again it could be, but the fact that you only had that one scene where you saw a little bit of the blonde hair, in the arm while he was shoving, and I don't know if that was Bucky or who it was, out the window. Let's see if we can find it on this one here. Because Bucky gets his arm ripped off. There's supposedly Sentry. Okay, so that's Red Guardian getting thrown out the window, and if you can see right here, there is a little bit of blonde. There's blonde, and there's the band that Sentry normally has. And this is the first time you're seeing that. Maybe it is Sentry, but I mean, again, Marvel could throw you for a loop here. Now, I don't know if the Red Guardian ever took like any super serum, so I don't know if he survives this. I mean, you might have, a few characters die off in this movie, honestly. There you go with them on the Wheaties box. There's Bob, Sentry. There's Bob. But if I had to guess, I think your Taskmaster is going to be killed. Possibly Red Guardian. Maybe even John Walker. But I think they keep the Ghost chick. Of course, they'll keep her. I could possibly see Bob, Sentry, being killed. And, of course, Bucky will survive because they will have him. I think it's already been acknowledged that both him and Alana will be in Secret Wars. I don't know. We'll see what happens, but I think this will be like one of those movies where they kill off a few characters. But yeah, to me, I don't see why this movie would get hate. They gave a decent trailer, a great trailer for it. They gave a little bit to where you want to know more. It's better than what the Superman trailer did. You actually are like, okay, well, give me more. Let me see what this is about. I think that one probably does better at the box office than the Captain America that's about to come out in, what, a week? Or is it this weekend? I don't know. It shows you how much I paid attention to that. But, yeah. This looks like it'll be a fun movie. So, besides the person being upset that Jefferson Starship had their music in there and upset about just the different characters, which I don't know why you're going to be upset about a movie with a bunch of different characters in it that it's supposed to be an offshoot. It's not supposed to be like Avengers Assemble or anything. So, and the fact that you're probably going to have a few of them killed off. I don't know why you would hate against it, but hey, some people just you know, hate, like the old Chappelle show with the pimp ball, hate. But yeah, I'm all for it. We'll end this on, man. It's again, I don't mind talking about politics, but it's one that I don't really like to fluctuate in, because all it does is just bring the idiots out as far as how they feel about things. But last week, you had just the Democrats were just way off kilter on so many levels. They hired, I think it's a new chairman or whatever, whoever runs, whoever's going to run. And they had like 30 people that nominated themselves, and just the group of people, like one woman got up there and they asked her to talk about herself, and she started singing either "We Will Overcome" or I don't know, something. And it's just so wild, so just like, what the hell. And you had all these other weird things going on, and they settled being a party of diversity. They settled on a late 40s, early 50-year-old white guy to manage their party. So party of diversity still has a white guy running it. And I think the vice chair is one of those kids that was in the shooting down in South Florida. There's been so many, I can't remember that school's name, but I think his name's David. And there's some speculation, and and I haven't looked into it, so I don't know, that he wasn't even at the school that day when the shooting occurred, but yet he's basically ran a career off of talking about being at the school the day that, or making a career off his fellow students that were actually murdered in that school. David Hodge, I think his name is. So yeah, I don't know if he was there or not, but there's a lot of people saying that he wasn't even there that day. So it would suck if he was not there and was taking credit for that. But anyways, so you had that, just a weird get together. You then had all these different protests going on across the country, where you had Democrats go into different buildings that, if you don't know, Doge, the group that is investigating or going into different federal entities, and they're reviewing to see how money was being spent. And in a few of these places, they have found that, millions and maybe even a couple $1 billion have just gone to complete crap, which that doesn't surprise anybody. I mean, that's one of the talking points when it comes to any party that's been in power. Republican, Democrat, doesn't matter. Throughout the years, both parties waste the hell out of money. It's just now you're getting somebody that's actually going in and discovering where this money is being wasted. I mean, for the longest time when I was growing up, it was defense. There was so much money that was being wasted, millions and millions and billions of dollars wasted in defense spending for things that never happened, for things that they never accomplished, just wasting money. So you had the Democrats going to different buildings, and they were told that they couldn't go in, and so they would just harass or try to make it seem like they deserve to go in. Which, do they deserve it? I don't know. I'm not all-knowing. I have no clue. But to me, this is my thing. If I'm running the Democrat Party, or if I'm a Democrat in the party, all this, what they're doing, all the protest, all that, we will win, we will not give up, and all that nonsense, it just is cringy and makes you look stupid. Saying out, when you have these different groups saying they don't have rights anymore, and you ask them, well, what rights don't they have? And then they can't tell you, or they say something that isn't true. No, you actually do have that right. No, you actually can still do that. No, you actually, with transgenders, you can still decide if you want to be, if you want to change sex, you can still do that. They have not taken that away from you. It is still there. So this constant. That's like the easiest play to go to when you're on the losing side, is to say that your rights are being taken away. And all these different protests, all these different stuff, it just comes off cringeworthy to the point that, I mean, most of the nation is over it. I think I saw something somewhere that it's like 80-20, 70-30, that people are just not for this, are tired of it. And again, if I was running a Democrat party, or if I was a Democrat, I'm getting everybody together and going, listen, man, let's just wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens with this. Let's let them do their thing. Let's let them go in and look. Perfectly fine. If we got nothing to hide, if there's nothing there, then they're going to pull out corruption. They're going to do whatever. That's fine. Because what if Elon and this Doge goes in there and they don't find much? What if what they showed last week was the only thing that they find? Then you can sit back and go, well, look at that. They went in there and wasted all that time and just, they found a little bit, but not much. To do this nonsense, to where you're protesting, to where you're walking up to buildings and you're doing it, it just makes you look stupid. It makes it seem like you are hiding something. It makes it look like you can't accept the fact that you lost the election. You lost the election. You have to realize that. Realize you lost. Realize it did not go your way. Sit back. Again, nothing crazy is happening here. They're just tracking down money. Let them track down. Let them see where it goes. Maybe they find something that the Republicans were doing that you guys can go, holy crap, look, they were and you can throw it back on them. But to do this nonsense to where you go up to make a scene for this, just to be on the news, or just to put it on Twitter later, on the social, to say, yeah, look at this, they kept us out. This is America. They won't let us in. They won't do this. This is your taxpayer money. It's just ridiculous. And the thing is, the people aren't buying it. The people are tired of it, man. You guys ran the country for 4 years. You had it under Obama for 8. You just look like baby back bitches whenever you guys aren't in control and are just crying about everything. Now, in Trump's first term, sure, there were some things that he did and said that maybe needed to be, maybe you should have done things like this for. You should have done. But so far, there isn't much that you can sit there and go like, holy crap, dude, like, take a chill pill. He's just been, I mean, you would have forgot he was in office for the last month. He's just been sitting back. I mean, the only thing that I think that is really wild that he said was the whole Gaza thing, was talking about how, the United States should just take over it and make it a luxury resort, which I don't know why you'd want to do that anyways. But, I mean, that's probably the wildest thing that I know that he said. Besides that, I mean, he's been passing orders, he's been doing, and the people, 70 to 80% of the nation agrees with it. If you're a Democrat and you see that 80% of the population is agreeing with this, it's time for you to take a back seat. It's time for you to wait this out. It's time for you to chill. You're not fighting against anything. You're not, rights aren't being violated or pulled, obviously. Now, you can go in on some of these things as far as some of the issues with like financial aid and whatnot that Trump might be going after. Sure, you might have an argument with certain things there, which those will get worked out. Those will get panned out. A lot of these orders are a huge net, and they throw them out there to try to catch as many fish as they can. And when they reel it in, they throw little ones back. They throw ones back that they know that they shouldn't have in the net, but they keep the ones that they wanted to go after. You'll see that a lot. That's just part of politics. Everybody does that. Everybody does that. It is a horrible, horrible look to be doing just this nonsense of.
Because of our gender balance provisions on this next ballot, you will be able to vote for 2 candidates of any gender on the next ballot.
Okay, so this is where they at their Democrat committee thing or whatever, they had to, since they believe in more than 2 genders, they had to have representatives of, if you were going to have a male and a female gender being represented, you then also had to have non-binary or somebody that sees himself as a cat or as a dog or as a telephone pole, whatever, they had to be represented too, because that's the way you're going to get America back, is to have some weird nonsense like that. And again, if you want to identify as something, if that makes you happy and more comfortable, that's fine. But you have to know that it looks really strange when you dress up in a dog outfit and claim you're a dog. When you dress up when you were born a male and then try to say that you're now a female. When you're a female and now try to say that you're a male. I worry about those individuals. I worry about their mental capacity. I do. I know some people will jump on that and say it's a mental illness or whatever. I'm not that far on it, but I mean the meter is teetering closer to that. But it's like this story. I had a buddy of mine, and I think I've told this before. He saw the Johnny Cash movie, and for whatever reason, when he'd get drunk, he would start acting like he was Johnny Cash. And it was weird to the point that every time he got drunk, he would talk to girls and call them June and talk about how they should get married and go and do all this, and as if he was actually Johnny Cash. And at first it was funny because he was drunk and he was an idiot. But after about the 10th time, you're like, you do realize you're not actually Johnny Cash, right? You're so-and-so who I've known for a while now, and you've never been Johnny Cash. And grateful, and he grew out of that phase. Whatever, he got over that phase. You know, it's like when you're a kid and you see a movie star and you try to act like a movie star. You grew out of that phase. And I worry about these people that go for the sex changes because, hey, if you do it and you stay with it for life, more power to you. If that's who you think you are, if you should be a woman, if you should be a man, and you stick with that for the rest of your life, then hey, I'm not one to tell you shouldn't do that. But I worry about these individuals that are just doing it because they're caught up in a moment, and then they actually have these surgeries, and then in a few years, when that manic, personality has settled down or is over, they look and go, "Holy crap! What did I do?" So I do worry about that. But seriously, I mean, the Democrats just need to chill right now. They should just sit back and wait, because Trump is Trump. He's going to say something stupid, or he's going to do something stupid, or he's going to do something that they can monopolize on like they always do. You're only in the first month of this. Let it play out. See what happens, and then if it starts getting wild, then you can go after it. Who knows? I mean, Trump in these next 3.5 whatever years left could just be what he is now, just being quiet, handling his business, doing his thing. Or he might go back to what he was, 4 years ago, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, where he's just lashing out. Who knows? I mean, depends on what happens. But you can't, after the first month, act like the nation is in danger. The nation is being taken over when 80% of the nation, 80% of the people in this country agree with what's happening. That is not a takeover. There is no resistance. There is no revolution. 80% of the country approves of what's happening right now. And if you as a party do not sit back and understand that, and you continue to fight for that 30% that, let's be honest, is probably not the best 30% to be representing, you're going to have problems in another 4 years. You're going to have problems in the next elections. It does not look good. Again, Democrats, just sit back. Just sit back, relax, wait your moment. When it happens, then jump on it and go from there. But otherwise, all this other stuff is just nonsense. It's just wild, man. But hopefully that'll be enough of the politics we talk about from there. All right. Well, as you go on your night, afternoon, morning, whatever it is, I hope you have a good one, whatever it is you're doing. Be positive with people, respect people, don't be pushy, Find that good piece of earth and dig it, baby. find that piece of verse and dig it. Take care.